Afternoon and welcome to my live. It's a beautiful sunny day today, so I thought I'd take it outside. But hello, and we are now on the 7th lesson of my photography lessons. So thank you all of you for joining me and working through the projects that you're doing, and the work that's coming through is fantastic. So give me a little hello if you're joining me on here, so that I can see who's coming on today. And hello from the Skidmores. I can see that they've popped on here, and yeah, welcome everybody. So I just want to say thank you very much for everybody that has been sending me over photographs, and also remember that I do have a private page that you can, hi Georgina, thanks for watching, that you can join and upload your pictures there. Hi Lizzie, thanks for joining us as well. So if you want to, hi everybody, thanks for coming on. If you want to go and post your pictures on there for me to see, and I can put some comments on there. I gave you quite a big project to work on last week. So we were talking last week about the project was going to have, it's a story-based project, and it's going to have a beginning, a middle and an end. And this morning I actually got up very early and went and saw the sun rising, and it was fantastic. I took my camera as well with me, and I think that I might be using that a little bit for my project. I've got another idea that I've been working on as well, but I'm going to see, and as I asked you to do, edit the pictures down to 3 to maybe at the most doing 5 images, and that's part of your little project to edit them down too. So I'm going to work out whether I'm going to use that picture or not, and whether it's going to be a good enough story. But so hopefully your week's been going well, and I look forward to seeing those pictures that you've been doing quite soon. So on my last lesson I talked about that I was going to maybe give you some more tips, but actually I'm going to change that this week, especially because we've got a really important day that's going to be going on tomorrow. It's VE Day, which is really important for us to celebrate, even in these really tough times when we're not able to see each other, when we're not allowed to be in contact with our friends and family, and that it's really important for us to be socially distancing. And also I want you really to consider that when you're taking your photographs too. These workshops are meant to be that you're taking your photographs in your home and in your garden, or potentially on your once a day daily activity. But also I want you to be really, really careful and not be hanging around too long and taking photos, and have, if you're a child and going out, and actually have the adult with you, and just make sure that you are socially distancing. I've got some messages that I'm freezing a lot. Is that happening still? So I'm really sorry about that. Let's just wait for the messages to come through and see if that's happening. I wonder if it's because I've come outside. I might have to move inside. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see me okay and that it's not freezing all the time? Let's have a little wait and see, and then I can run over what I've been saying. Okay, thank you. Thanks. Hi Sarah, hello. So apparently it was freezing a little bit, so I can just quickly recap with what I was talking about. That I set you a project last week, and also I've just uploaded all my videos onto a YouTube channel. So it's Becky Kerr Photography. So it might be a little bit easier to go on there and have a look at the past lessons, and you can recap over the things that I've taught you in the last lessons. So it's just straight on YouTube, and I think you just put in Becky Kerr Photography, and then you will see all the lessons. I've got to upload last week's, and I will later on today upload today onto there. So as I just mentioned, really important day tomorrow. So I'm going to set you another project. I'm sorry, I keep setting you projects, and you don't have to do them, and you can do as little or as much on them. You don't even have to finish them. It's meant to just be helping you get inspired and creative, and maybe even using it in your other lessons. So the project I set last week, we were talking about a little bit. It's as if you would be doing, as in your English, you're doing a beginning, a middle and an end. So because we have got VE Day tomorrow, and it's going to be different this year, we can have a picnic, but on your front lawn, make sure you are completely socially distancing from people that are not inside your family. But I would like you to photograph these events, because it's 75 years, it's a big celebration, but you could maybe coincide it with a project that you've potentially been set by at school. My daughter's in year 8, and in her computing she's been set a research project, which she's got to look into all the background history. So it's important that we acknowledge this time, and if you can, and if you're younger or you haven't been set any work from school, if you can maybe listen to the radio. There's articles on the radio at the moment. Even Radio 1 has. I've just heard an article at lunchtime. Or look at the news round, and then take some pictures around it. It might be that it's to do with your research project, that you maybe take images, download them from the internet, and then you could incorporate them with your own image. You could maybe make a collage. I think my daughter's doing a little bit of painting, and she might photograph that and then work it in with some other photographs. In previous lessons we've talked about collages, that there's apps that you can use for collages, or if you've got access to a printer, you could maybe print out some of your own pictures or some off the internet, as I've just mentioned. Bring those together in a collage, maybe incorporate a bit of paint. And yes, we're moving away a little bit from traditional photography, but I still want you to have that little bit of photography element in it. I also want you to maybe think about your neighbours might have a picnic on their front lawn tomorrow. Maybe you could go up in a bedroom window so that you're away safely from people when you're photographing, and photograph down on what's happening and document. Be also a little bit sensitive. I don't want you just peering over at your neighbours and taking photographs of them. Maybe think about it that it's the backs of their heads, something like that, so it's not intrusive. Or if you know them, maybe a parent could message them and say, look, you want to take some pictures about this day. Think about, some people might have bunting up. We've actually put bunting at the front of our house. Maybe take some photos of that. It might be in your own home. It might be you can look across and safely take some pictures that your neighbour has got. Think about the way tomorrow will be. It will be celebrated quite differently to how I think people imagine they would be celebrating this significant event. Think about what you want to portray. So it might be something that doesn't necessarily show its VE Day. It might be more an emotion. It might be more a feeling. It might be something that you, through photography, could depict that is celebratory. It could be the colours. Think about British colours, red, white and blue. Your photograph might just be something to do with those colours rather than an actual person or an object, or it might be an object that you put in. Think about how we've talked about depth of field in previous workshops. Maybe that could be a really fun way of photographing certain objects. You're playing around with that depth of field. Also think about the angles that you're going to be photographing them. We talked about you might be upstairs in a room. You could be very low down on the ground, sort of looking up. It could also be about the food. What food will people be eating tomorrow? Will they have a special celebratory picnic? It might happen, it might not. You know, we're not going to the supermarket as often, so we haven't got all those foods so readily available to us, but we might improvise. We might have baked a really special cake or some cupcakes. So think about photographing them. Think, when you're photographing, consider your lighting, like we've talked about in the past. Consider your angles. We've just talked about the depth of field. Also think about what you are trying to communicate to your viewer, the person that is going to look at your photograph. So we've talked about that it could be emotions, it could be that we are showing big celebrations, it could be a time that we also are reflecting on family members and how brave our family members were. Just have a little think about lots of different elements. So that, I'm going to leave it there pretty much today, and just, I want you to have fun though. This is meant to be fun. It's not meant to be too serious. But also remember that I'm running a competition on the page too. So if you do want to upload anything, and as the weeks go on, we'll start maybe categorising that and look at working out which pictures you would like to put in for your competition. Oh, I've got some angry faces, but I've got lots of hearts too. I hope I haven't upset someone. Yeah, so we are going to be, there is a competition running alongside this, so get your entries in, and I'll give you plenty of notice when I'm going to start judging them, and maybe on the private group we'll get everybody sort of helping judge those pictures, and the winner will receive a family portrait session with myself, and it can involve just your immediate family, but once the lockdown restrictions are lifted, we can incorporate maybe grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins, and do a lovely big celebratory family portrait, and then you will get the pictures to keep and hopefully treasure for a long time. But thank you guys for coming and listening to my live, and I will do one for you again next week and try and come up with some things to talk about. I'm really sorry, it sounds like somebody's using a chainsaw in the background here, but everybody stay safe and enjoy the celebration safely tomorrow. And remember, when you are taking photographs, please make sure you are keeping social distance and that you are pretty much doing it within your Rebecca, yeah, definitely. Cheeky neighbours. Did they not know I'm doing this? And making sure you're staying safe and sort of really taking the photos within the confines of your garden, your back garden, and your home. But keep posting your pictures on the private page, and if you want to get access to that, just go and find it. It's called Becky Kerr Workshop, I think, and then you can request and I can let you in there. But thanks everybody for joining me. Stay safe, keep looking after each other, and I will see you next week. Thanks a lot. Stopped. Hooray. Bye.